came for this particular debate in order to plead with the government, not to say, oh, well, this is what we're told by people and the other, and we think this is a good idea and it fits in with our obligations and our attitudes.
Well, nothing screams pro-business like a government full of career politicians who've never actually run a business telling the rest of us how to run ours. Brilliant. Really. Who needs experience when you've got advisors and civil servants who've maybe managed to print a queue at best? Today, we expose the absurdity of a government that legislates in the dark, pushing bills that choke employment, stifle startups, and then refuses to even check if they work. Accountability? Optional. Competence? Unconfirmed. Consequences? Entirely yours as a taxpayer.
I have said that we're going to do things differently. We're going to tell the truth, even when they are hard truths.
I remind the House of my interest in both consultancy and the hospitality industry. I've really come to help the government on this particular bit of the bill, because the problem the government has is that very few of those who are framing this bill and working on the bill run businesses. I've run businesses all my life except for the time when I was a minister, and I am very concerned that as I read this bill, it has been written by people who haven't run businesses and don't understand what they don't actually want to do, don't understand the damage that they do to employment and to new business. And if one admits that, and I hope every minister will admit it to themselves, whether they have run businesses and met these problems themselves, and thought of the civil servants who advise them, have they run businesses and seen these problems themselves, or the political advisors that they have from their parties, have they run businesses and seen for themselves? And if the answer is not much, not many, not overall, then surely what they ought to do is to see whether they've got it right or not. Now, frankly, I don't think they've got it right, but I'm very happy to be proved wrong. I don't think they've got it right because I know what's happened in the businesses with which I am associated. I know that we are employing less because that's the only way we can pay the increased employers' demands. I know that the balances that we have to make now are not to the advantage of staff recruitment. But above all, I know that the temptation, if I were starting a new business, not to do it, is very much greater because of the complications which this bill and previous actions of the government have placed on us. Now that puts me into a position in which I don't think this bill is, in large measure, a good one. But I am prepared to be proved wrong if, by clear investigation, we look at the results of what happens and take account of it. And this is a problem I really have for this government. If this government is going to carry out many of the things with which I agree more clearly than I do with some of the policies on this side of the House, but if it is going to carry out those policies effectively, it really must prove to the public that it listens and that it is prepared to look at the facts. And so I came for this particular debate in order to plead with the government, not to say, oh, well, this is what we're told by people and the other, and we think this is a good idea and it fits in with our obligations and our attitudes. But instead say, we'll do this, we'll argue in the House, both the House of Lords and the House of Commons, and we'll come to the end, and at the end of it, we'll see whether we were right or not. We'll see whether the opposition was right or whether we were. And if we show we are right, we've got a really good position to say to the public, there you are, we said we were right, and we've been proved right. But if we say now, we're not even going to find out whether we're right. We're not even going to measure it. We're actually not going to accept these amendments. Now, Baroness Lawler and I disagree on most things, I have to say. Both of us, though, do think that it would be a good idea to check and see where we are. And I don't understand why representatives of the trades unions aren't getting up and saying to the government, look, we think we're right, we think you're right, so check it. Show independently that it is right. Instead of which, what the government admits, frankly, is either that they don't know or that they fear they've been proved wrong. I want a government that's brave enough to say, we'll actually put it to the test. We'll actually accept these amendments and we'll find out who's right, and if we're wrong, we'll change it. And if we're right, we'll crow like mad over those people who told us we were wrong.